Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of Founders Untold. Today, I actually have a very true and special guest to me, my lovely wife, but fellow entrepreneur and business owner, Aly Jelincic from Alpha Lenders. Welcome, Aly.
Thank you. I might cry. That was very nice.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did I oversell it?
No, just because you were nice to me.
Okay. So this is weird, for us trying to podcast, right?
Yeah.
Trying to pretend like we're professionals.
We don't know each other.
We don't really know each other because I kind of know. I'd say I hope I know everything about you.
Maybe.
But today's focus is not going to be too much about me or what I know about you, but it's really going to be about your story of how you got to where you are with Alpha Lenders.
Okay.
And what I've noticed as I do these podcasts, and obviously I've talked about with you as I debrief when I come home, right? Is that there seems to be a lot of questions directed towards me for my guests as to how we manage as two entrepreneurs, self-employed individuals, and the challenges that brings. And we talk about it a lot, and we kind of understand our dynamic. But I think it's important to kind of speak to the people that are tuning in here and not necessarily give advice, but give what we have done that has worked for us.
Actual experience. Yep.
Right? Not advice, just experience.
What we're doing.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's good, bad. It is what it is.
We just doing it.
Or it's going to be what's going to be.
It's going to be what's going to be, as they say when you order some wings in of it. Editors, maybe take that out. But let's tell us a little bit about you. Start wherever you want.
That's so open-ended.
It is very open-ended. So, Aly, tell us everything about you.
I don't know. That's that's a lot.
Let's start with professional Aly.
Okay.
So where did professional Aly begin?
Ooh.
Well, let's rewind. Tell us a little bit about Alpha Lenders and what it is that you do presently. And then we'll take it back to the start.
Okay. Alpha Lenders is a mortgage broker company. So being a mortgage broker means that you don't just work with one specific lender. I work with a bunch of them, probably have 10 to 12 that I'm signed up with. So instead of just having one loan product to offer when I talk to clients, I get to know them, get to know what their personal finances are, what their goals are. And then from there, I'm able to shop different products and find the best one for them and their family and their future goals.
Okay. And how does that set you apart from maybe like a bank that has all these products as well?
So at a bank, you're going through a pretty big system, right? So you might talk to one person, they'll get your application from you, get all the basic details of how much income you make, qualify you. And then after that, you might not ever speak to that person again. Probably you won't. You'll go on to a processor. You'll probably have 5 processors. And then you'll get some mixed communication. And then at the very end, they say, hey, you're either pre-approved, you're ready to go, or like, hey, we can't do it. And that's it. So when you're working with those people, you have a bunch of different contacts versus with me, you're talking to me and one other person the entire time.
And what about accessibility? Like, what are your hours of operation compared to a traditional brick and mortar bank or even retail lender?
Well, if you look on Google, it says that I'm open from, I believe, 8 to 5. Which is not correct. I took some emails last night at 9:30. So my hours of operation are literally all of the time. Specifically after hours when people stop working, that's when everyone wants to talk to me, right? 7 p.m. Hey, I'm available. And then Saturday and Sunday too.
Versus bank 5:01. Good luck trying to connect with anybody.
Probably 4:45. We don't want to talk to you.
Yep. Cool. So that's where you are today. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind.
What a great name for the business too.
Yes, very original.
Yep. But take us back to, where this idea even started, or even before that, like before the idea came about, what were you doing professionally? And what was the story that brought you into the lending space?
I've done a host of different jobs. I never knew what I wanted to do. So worked in retail. I worked for Macy's. I worked for Free People. And then I decided I don't want to work retail anymore because I had terrible hours. But I loved customer experience. That was something that I really liked. Even though it sounds silly, when I worked at Macy's, I would help an older lady find a dress to wear to her daughter's wedding or something like that. And it brought me a lot of joy. So that's always been the theme of my strange careers, I guess, my path. That I wanted to find some way that I was helping people. I staffed ER physicians for short-term positions. That was a very interesting one. From there, I went on.
It was like the first time that you did
like a corporate offers job.
I was going to say sales, but even when you were in retail, you were doing sales.
Yeah.
But you didn't have a physical product for the first time.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. And so that was your untangible product. You're not selling this dress to that old lady anymore.
Yeah.
But you're talking to people over the phone and you're doing sales in that capacity. So I think that was, seeing it from my perspective, that was a big change for you as well.
It was.
Because dresses kind of sell themselves. People either like it or they don't. It fits them or they don't.
Yeah.
But when you're doing staffing like you were doing, it's a lot different of a process.
Yeah. You're selling people on a job, an opportunity, something for their family. If they take this job, they might be able to afford to do more things, whatever it is. So yeah.
Pay off student loans faster was a big one.
Yeah,
for sure. And then so lending, how did that come about?
I got laid off after COVID for my job that I was working at. It was in a staffing role. And then I took a really fun job after that.
Oh, where's that job?
Doing some data entry for Alpha Assurance.
Oh, no way. Alpha Assurance. What a great company.
It was. The boss was, he was fine, I guess, but he was pretty demanding and he only paid me in lunches. Yeah. So I wasn't a big fan of that. Yeah. And I was.
For any of those that haven't caught on to the joke yet, I'm that somebody. I'm that boss. And I didn't let her just mope around and be at home.
No, I got like a week to mope.
Yeah, you had a week to mope. And I said, hey, girl, I need some help. So come to the office.
Yep. So I was there. I was browsing some job ads and you were reading an article on the Business Journal or something.
South Florida Business Journal.
You said, wow, there's going to be so many mortgage jobs coming to Miami. This company is moving here. And
should we name drop the company? Do we?
Do we
want to give them a shout out?
I don't know.
I think we should.
Sure. AmeriSave.
Okay.
So the whole article was about how the founder he didn't want to live in Detroit, Michigan anymore. Because he wants to live in Detroit, Michigan whenever they're really rich. So he decided to move to Miami. And then he was like, hey, I should open like an office here and have more people work here. So they were doing a mass hiring. It was a great time in mortgages because rates were 2%. Wish that would happen again. And so I went on a group interview after you told me like, hey, just try it out. And I was like, I don't know anything about mortgages. I'm bad at math.
Yeah, I remember your biggest objection was I'm not good at math.
Yeah. Also, I was like, it's really hard to spell mortgage sometimes because the G in it is
it's a silent. El silencio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking for pretty much any excuse not to have to go into the mortgage industry because it sounded really boring.
Yep.
It sounded like you had to look at numbers all day. And I did not want to do that, like at all. And then I got onto the group interview and, I'm a shining star in a group interview when everyone else asks no questions, has absolutely no preparation. I think my one question I asked was, hi, could you let me know how your processing department works? And I'm pretty sure you gave me that to ask.
Maybe.
And they were like, wow, that was an excellent question. And I was like, yeah, thanks so much.
And the reason I had that question prepared for you is because I worked with other lenders prior to that. And when we bought the house, I remember your perspective when we went through that loan application and process. You thought it would be a lot easier and you didn't understand why I was struggling so much. Yeah. And when I told you like these people just suck, you're like, no, I can't be. And
they did.
That was my user experience.
Yeah.
Right. So when you got hired then at AmeriSave.
Yep.
And how long were you at AmeriSave? What'd you learn there? What was good? What did you gain from AmeriSave?
I learned a lot there. Honestly, they had a really great program. They trained me to get licensed as a loan originator. The test for that is typically people say it's kind of hard. You would not say that because, you're you. But it is a difficult test. They did a great job like training you and giving you all of the tools to figure out what you needed to do to get licensed. Then when I got licensed, I was on a team where they were asking, every single day how I could be trained better, what I needed to do better. And so what do we do about this cat here? All right. And so when I remember when I got on my first call, they were just calls. So they just kept coming in. You didn't get to pick like when you were taking a call. It was like, you're on. And if it comes through, you take it. And I took like my maybe third call. And this guy was on the phone with me and he's like, I'm on my drive home. I don't really know if I want to save any money by refinancing. I'm busy. And so I was talking to him and I was like, look, like what could saving $100 a month do for you and your family? And then we started talking about it and he could actually save like $500 a month.
Oh, wow.
And I remember being like, hey, you know, you mentioned you had kids, like you could take them on vacation. This will take 10 minutes to do an initial application. And then like you can do the rest of the process at your leisure. And he was like, all right, cool. And I wound up going through the entire app and like they called that like taking the full app and then you're done. But that was my process. And I remember the guy who was coaching me was like, wow, you did a great job. That was your third call. Like, how did you do that? And I was like, that was so easy. All I did was like talk to this guy, get to know why he like might benefit from saving some money. And then that was it. Like that was the easiest thing I've ever done. And then I wound up doing very well at that because I just listened to people. I cared about what they said. And I remember people on my team being like, you're way too nice. You're not going to be good at this. Like you need to be more salesy. I was like, no, I don't. Like I think I'm fine. And I wound up outperforming all of those people. And I stayed at the company longer than most of them too.
You did. Congrats. So what made you leave that company?
I was not able to write loans for like anyone that I knew because they wanted W-2 employees. They wanted us to take only inbound calls. So they didn't want us to like go out and find our own leads. Like everything was on a flow basis. And then the flow started slowing down because rates started going up. And so long term, I just knew like that was not going to be beneficial to me because your call volume goes down. Obviously, as someone who's not in charge of getting your own leads, that's going to determine my income. So instead of making a lot of money every month, it started going down, 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 down. So I said, hey, I think that I could do this some other way. There has to be a way to write loans for people who are self-employed, for investors. Everyone in Miami has a side hustle and I can't qualify them. So like, what can you do?
And so what did you do?
I'm a mortgage broker.
All right.
Yeah.
And so did you go off on your own right away?
No, I started another company. I learned a little bit about like the broker worlds. I had no understanding of what lenders were out there, how you find those lenders, how to process my own loan. I'd never processed a loan before because all I was doing was taking an application. You need to learn technology. You need to learn compliance. You need to learn like there's so many things.
Yeah, you went from a W-2 employee to actually starting your own business at this point, right? And so I know we kind of brushed over it and you made it seem like, oh, I'm not in charge of my lead flow and I want to be in charge of that. Hindsight is 2020, right?
Yeah.
You make it seem like you just had everything lined up and you knew exactly what to do. But let's focus in on those.
No, I totally had a pipeline of like 100 people that just wanted to do those.
Yeah, that would have been something. But so the point of the podcast is obviously, as you know, because it was partially your idea. Let's talk about those moments, right? Let's dive deeper into kind of what went into that process, what the obstacles were, and then how you came up with the solutions or work through them. Maybe you didn't find a solution and just got to work through them. So when you left AmeriSave and you went off, you went to another brokerage that had you as like your independent broker kind of thing. It was like an in-between, right? So that was the first step before. And I hate telling your story. But, let's talk about that initial step.
Yeah.
What were the challenges?
It's going to be really easy. And I'll be really honest, it wasn't. Finding your own leads is really hard. Finding your own leads whenever interest rates are going up is even harder.
Yeah.
I probably picked the absolute worst time to go out on my own. I just come off of a high of coming in the mortgage industry 1 year, making a ton of money. It was so easy, right? Like
just taking out
loan, easy.
You were also working when you were at AmeriSave with how many states?
I had 15 to 20. I can't remember exactly. It was a lot.
And some of your smallest loans were what?
I'd do like a loan for like $75,000.
And then on the
highest was probably like 400,000.
Okay. So definitely a different average. It was a volume game at that point. You're just taking inbound calls.
Yeah.
I remember you were just sitting at home in PJs most of the time.
Yeah, just
taking calls.
Chatting up with people.
What was it?
Financial situation, give me everything you got.
So when you went off on your own, obviously that changes, right?
Yeah, you got to find your own leads. Then you got to figure out what to do with those leads after you get them. Then you got to put in an application somewhere. You got to have a software system to use. Then you got to find a lender that wants to work with you. Then you got to process the whole loan. So that takes about 30 days of your time that you're calling people, talking to them, doing all the things. And then, hopefully it closes at the end of that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And if not, you just
did a lot of work for free.
Yeah. So how did let's piece some, probably the biggest one, right, is sourcing leads and getting qualified individuals.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? How long did it take? What did that, did you start family and friends? Like what took off first? Walk us through what that process was like for you.
Luckily, the good thing at that time was a lot of our friends were buying houses because we were in our mid to late 20s, right?
Yeah.
So people were buying houses. So that was my biggest lead source, was our friends. Also hardest lead source because your friends don't necessarily want to disclose their financial information to you.
100%.
It's really hard to convey to people that know you that I literally don't care how much money you make. I don't care about your debts. All I'm looking at is your DTI. Is it under 50%? Cool. That's all I care about.
Yeah, it's kind of at the start, it kind of annoyed me, right? Because I wanted to get into the numbers and the nitty and gritty and, assist you in that. And you were just like, it's binary to me. Either they qualify or they don't. And then we'd look for other products where they might qualify for or they don't, right? Yeah. But the numbers, what people were making, what their expense ratios were.
I can't tell you a single person that I've worked with that I remember any financial detail of theirs other than if they qualified or not, because how much money you make does not matter to me. How much debt you have does not matter to me. I just need to know if those two numbers work with my ratio that I need. I don't say that because I don't pay attention. I obviously do pay attention. It's that it's not important to me to remember those details about someone. I remember if I was able to help them or if I wasn't.
So, but sometimes it is important to you, right? And so on like the pre-qualification side, I know that's a big part of your business, right? Is we're obviously jumping to the, hey, people are actively closing on deals.
Yeah.
But your passion project is your pet projects, right? Is growing people. So I know we're kind of jumping out of order here, but talk to us, that's a valuable lead source for you, right? Is those people that are in the hunt for years.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that portion of your business. Why you're passionate about that, and what that's actually done, and how maybe that makes you different in this space.
Yeah, I guess like people that I work with that maybe would not be an easy sell. Is that what you're talking about? Like people I'm working with long term to get them to where they need to be.
Correct.
Okay, so I'd like to work with people that are starting 6 months to a year out from whenever they actually want to buy. I think that especially in this climate, people are trying to qualify for the absolute maximum they can, right? They don't need the highest loan amount, especially in Miami. Houses to find under $1 million is really difficult. Yeah. So those people, I want to talk to them early so we can create a strategy. I'm not just going to say, hey, looks like you don't qualify. Your DTI is over 50%, so figure it out. I like to sit down with people and say, hey, here's a strategy. It looks like you have these credit cards, and this one has the highest balance on it. Your monthly minimum is the highest here. So if you could pay that off, that's going to increase your purchase power by this much. If you have student loans, people have this conception that if you have student loans, you cannot qualify for a mortgage. That's not true.
Okay.
We use a portion of your payments if they're deferred, or your monthly minimum payment, which is typically a lot lower than like, hey, I have 70,000 credit card or student loan debt. Okay, but then what's your monthly minimum payment? That's all I want to see.
$55.
Yeah. So it's really not that bad. But I think like the educational aspect of it is so important. Like I want you to then come to me when you want to buy your next house. Be like, hey, Aly, like I really appreciated what you taught me last time. And I've been thinking about this for a couple months and this is what I'm doing already. I've learned from this. Like that's really rewarding to me to have people be able to do that.
And even with you by my side and me knowing a little bit, full disclosure, I went out and got my loan originator's license to assist her in the business. So I think I know a thing or two sometimes. She knows a lot more, especially when it comes to actual products. But the big thing there is like, we are part of our own coaching program, right? So like, we're in our home right now. We custom built this home. We're happy with it. But we just did it.
Sometimes,
yeah, we did an addition to the family, and all of a sudden this house doesn't feel like it's the right fit anymore.
We're big dreamers. We're
Or-
people who are motivated by the next big thing.
100%.
So
And so back to that point, we got to break it down, and we're coaching ourselves and making decisions.
yes.
Um,
As two self-employed people, how do we qualify for a mortgage, right?
100%.
I always tell people my best clients are people who are self-employed. They're business owners, because as a business owner, your main goal on a daily basis is to drive profit for your business and save money where you can, right? So on your tax returns, you're probably not showing as much money as you truly do make, right? You want to be able to write things off because that makes sense for your business. So for us, that's the same thing. So, hey, on paper, I don't think that I qualify for this loan. Well, there's a bank statement loan for that. And that's something that we talked about whenever we were looking to qualify for ourselves is, okay, so if we looked at our past 12 months of bank statements on our business side, how much money does that actually give us to show that we make on a monthly basis?
Yeah.
And planning, okay, so could we do this in the future? And this, how much would that help us? And if we did this, what would happen? So but everything's very scenario based. And a lot of the times in lending, people don't like to operate on a scenario basis, right? They want the hard facts.
Right.
I want to see the numbers. I want to see this. I want to see this. And yes, of course, whenever we get down to it, I need the final numbers. But if you come to me early, we can talk about those things and we can strategize. And I'm not a financial planner, right? But I like the idea that a financial planner is sitting down with you and going over your goals. Buying a home is the same thing. It's a goal. It's your biggest asset. So why would you not plan for that?
Yeah. Knowing how to make your financials, fit for a qualification period
Yes.
is important.
Yes.
Right. And it's sometimes that preparation of either 6 months to a year before is the difference of buying at the right time when you actually need it versus having to wait
Or missing out.
or missing out on a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I know we jumped out of order there and we got to I think that is your passion, right?
Yeah.
Personally, you love working with
I love a
individuals.
win. I love to help somebody win.
Long term, it's a lot of mortgage brokers, obviously in the insurance side, we see it. They're very transactional. It's like realtor brings them a deal, qualified, boom, but they have no relationship with it. I mean, I've seen friends that I've referred to work with you, and they're in tears of joy at the end of it because they didn't think they would ever be able to attain this, right? And with enough guidance and your passion and empathy, you've helped them literally achieve dreams.
Yeah. I think the greatest thing for me is that when I have clients who literally just call me up 6 months later and they're like, hey, I just want to see how you're doing. Want to let you know I'm so happy. I want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
I love that.
I would love to be your friend. Yeah. I want to help you buy a house, but I'll cry if I talk. I really do like that.
I know you do. I know. And so, that's part of the business,
Yeah.
right? But then catering to the masses and getting that volume is an important strategy as well.
Yes.
So talk to us about how you have built up that pipeline that isn't necessarily true relationship with clients.
Yeah.
And more on the transaction basis.
Yeah. I think that for me, I'm very authentic, right? I don't like to have an inauthentic relationship with people. And so it's been a little bit more challenging to grow my lead sources and my bases because if I'm going to be talking to a realtor and they're going to send me referrals because they have clients who need to get pre-approved, I want to have an authentic relationship with that person. I want to text and be like, hey, I was thinking about you because I have a realtor I work with in Orlando, and I text her every time I drive through Orlando to my parents' house. And she knows that my parents live in Ocala. And so I text her, hey, I was driving through Orlando. I just thought about you. And then she'll call me and we'll talk about her kids and we'll talk about my baby and things like that. And so it's not necessarily, hey, I'm getting a ton of leads from this person and they're my lead source, so I follow up with them. I genuinely want to have a connection with people and work with people who I know, trust, right? Little
Right.
B&I throw in there.
B&I plug.
But I think that's really true. Everyone I work with comes from a source of someone who has talked to me personally and knows that I really care about my business. And I think that that is my differentiator. I'm not doing it because I don't call people and say hey, I just want to know what's going on with you. Let's go out to dinner. I don't know, do something that's super, I want to talk to you and I want to get to know you as a person.
Right.
And I think that then translates to their clients feeling really comfortable with me. And again, if you're going to share financial information with someone, you want to trust them.
Yeah, 100%. And so, you talked about relationships with realtors, lead sources, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Have you done any direct to consumer calls to action or marketing?
Yeah, I did a lead gen through like Facebook marketing. I've done that. That was interesting. Did play out somewhat
Why was it interesting?
because you get a ton of unqualified people. And again, love to work with unqualified people and help them. But sometimes it's like very, very unqualified. It's hard to get a mortgage lead from Facebook, Instagram that is a person who has even like maybe in the next 5 years, like the ability to qualify for a mortgage.
And is that because their incomes just are too low? The prices of homes are too high? What they want to buy is...
I was going to say that's like a really big thing, especially in Florida. Houses are not cheap, right? So people constantly have this idea in their head. And this is, again, why I say like start your prep to buying a house a year in advance. Because the worst thing is that I talk to people and they say like, oh yeah, I've been looking at houses on Zillow and like I found this one I really like. Okay, cool. Send it over to me. I'll see like if you qualify. Okay, it's $750,000. I get all their docs in and I'm like, hey, unfortunately, max I can qualify you for is $550,000. There's a big difference in a house that's $550,000 and $750,000.
100%.
And then you go look at those and all you're thinking, because we've been in this position, wow, this house sucks. I thought I was going to afford something nicer. I should just keep renting because why would I pay so much money for something that I don't like? So why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Like before you even start dreaming, which I'm a big dreamer, you got to be a little realistic. Like I like to dream. I'd like to dream about a $3 million house, but I look at a $3 million house and then I look at a $1.5 million house and I say, man, that's not cool. Like I don't like that house anymore, you know?
Yeah. And so, were those Facebook and Instagram leads just those type of people that they qualified for $500,000?
Yes.
But they had
And
$1 million taste?
Yeah. And so then your job, instead of being a loan officer who's helping them figure out their financial situation, turns into being like their therapist and saying, hey, like, why don't you think about it? Like, this house is not that bad. Like, this price range isn't so bad when you're paying in rent, and counseling them through that. And that's a really hard thing for you as a person to accept. Like, I'm not getting what I wanted. And no one likes that. So I don't want to, I don't like being that person.
Nobody likes the messenger.
No.
All right.
Oh yeah. No one likes that.
So, okay, cool. So when did you go off fully on your own, independent, not under that other brokerage? And what were the new challenges that came about with that? And what were the benefits too?
Yeah.
Because obviously you wouldn't just leave something because you wanted just to leave and have your own thing, right? Obviously there's benefits to it. So what was that decision-making process? Why did you do it? When did you do it? What were the challenges and the benefits?
It's like a lot of questions, remember?
That's like 7 questions.
Yeah.
I'll keep reminding you.
Yeah.
of them.
But yeah.
I'll feed them to you a little bit.
I think it started in 2022 on my own, if I remember correctly. I really don't. So it's 2022 or 2023.
Early in the year or later in the year?
It was mid-years, June.
Okay. So we'll go June 2022.
Sure. Yeah. And whenever I went off on my own, it was because I didn't really think about
that. Sounds about right, because we got married in 21.
Yeah.
And then that was the next.
There's a year of I was like, I don't really know.
Well, you were planning the wedding.
And then you were like, oh, we're married now, so you had to be an entrepreneur. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, actually, that's exactly why it was 2022.
Well, it leads into what I was going to say, like, why did I leave working for another broker, or why did I leave AmeriSave, things like that? Because I did not think about doing that. I was like, I can't do that. Like, that's too hard. That's like your first struggle, at least for me, was there's no way I could have my own business. Like, that's crazy. There's no way that I could run a company. I don't know how to create an LLC. I don't know how to do taxes. I don't know how to do accounting. How do you even come up with a logo? How do you make a website? All those things. I was like, I can't do that. And you looked up how to become a mortgage broker. And then you were like, it's not that hard. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I think for like a couple months, I was like, no, it's hard. And then after a bit, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of paying like an override to someone else. Like, I was getting my own leads at that point. I was doing everything on my own. I had to use a processor that I didn't like and pay them out of every single loan that I closed. And I was like, you know, I should see if this is hard. I looked into it. And honestly, in the state of Florida, It is not that hard. There's not that many requirements. And then that's how I ended up with Alpha Lenders because, as I said, how do you create a company name and a logo? So I used your template and just changed the bottom.
Yeah, I mean,
and the colors too.
She has her own brand color, blue.
Gator colors.
Orange is me. Blue is her. Gator fam. Go Gators. Had to throw that.
Not doing that.
Yeah, okay. But we tried to make like Alpha for Alpha Assurance stands for Auto, Life, Property, Health, and Annuities.
Yeah.
We tried to make something work for Alpha Lenders, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember remotely what it was?
No.
I think it was like alternative
lending
home
product
homes.
It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it really didn't work.
No.
So do you get questions now as to why your name is Alpha Lenders?
Well, I think it's not necessarily like, what does it stand for or anything? It's like, hey, you're not really like an alpha personality. So why alpha? You know, like you have a large personality where people
immediately people assume it's because
you're
right?
Which isn't why you have that.
Which is not why I have it.
But it does fit your personality really well.
It might fit my personality a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay. Me, not so much. We've talked about different names that I could do for my company and they would probably fit me a lot better. But honestly, I was just like, look, this is one less thing I have to think about. Okay. It's a great name. The logo looks good. How cool would it be if our family comes up with like, our dream obviously is to eventually have different entities that we're doing, right? Because both of us like to be doing many things at once, multitasking. So how cool would it be under the Alpha brand of, you know, like even when I was pregnant, we were like, oh, Alpha baby.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
we called her Alpha baby.
Yeah. So I think that was cool, right? Like, I think the idea of doing something with you and like having that be our personal like family thing is really cool.
Yeah, kind of like our own little family brand.
Yes.
Love that. And is that what you tell people these days when they ask?
No, no one asks me. They don't care.
Nobody really asks.
No.
As long as you get it done, the company name doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Which I guess probably isn't true for like a lot of people, but for me, I really don't feel as though I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why you switched. Yeah. You wanted a little bit more control of the process. You wanted your own processor, right? Somebody you were happy with, and you were tired of paying an override. Yes. So what were the challenges when actually push came to shove?
Because I didn't have a processor. So I was my own processor. And I fully thrived on I do everything myself. That was me. Oh, you guys go talk to another loan officer. They're going to pass you off to a processor. And that's not great. I do it all myself. I am really good at processing loans.
You're great.
I could crush doing an entire loan by myself.
You could.
But that is not the best use of my time. And as a business owner, you have to learn that and recognize that, which is not easy.
A little humble pie there.
Yes. Last year.
It's the first time I've actually heard you verbalize that and vocalize it.
Because I'm very honest now.
This is a great podcast already.
No, I think that's very true. Like as a business owner, you think that you know everything. I have a personality where I feel like when I do things, I want to do them myself. And I have a really hard time taking feedback and criticism, even if it's constructive. And I think that is a weakness of mine, right? And as a business owner, you have to fully be prepared to recognize the worst parts of yourself because they're going to come up when you own a business, right? 100%. It pulls out every insecurity that you have because this is something you're putting your entire life into. This is your whole thing. And so any flaw that you have is going to come up. And that's a really hard thing to like deal with.
And so how do what are you doing to deal with that?
Just recognize that and then use it as an opportunity to grow. Like I was talking to my best friend the other day about how when I started, I would hate when people were like, oh yeah, that's Mark's wife. She does mortgages. And like being, oh, Mark's wife, right? And now like I see that as well. It's such a compliment. Like Mark is such a great business owner. People want to work with him. I'll cry. People want to work with you because you're really passionate about what you do. You're very good at it. Like you care about everything. Like if someone needs advice, you're there for them, right? I'll cry again.
I might cry.
But that's true. And so like you're such an amazing person. You're such a great business owner. And like how cool is that for people to be like, oh, you're Mark's wife.
Thank you. I almost forgot what we were even talking about, you know?
No, but it's okay. So going back to those things that make you feel insecure, now I think that's the coolest thing when someone's like, oh yeah, you could go work with Mark's wife, right? And so like that's not an insecurity of mine anymore. Like I get it. People say that I'm your wife. It's like, yeah, but that's like, I take it as a compliment, right? And the same thing is like, hey, whenever you're processing your own loans and you'd be like, hey, you're killing yourself. You can't do that. You need to get help. And I was like, no, I can do everything myself. Stop telling me I can't.
Yeah, when you have one at a time, it's not a big deal. But when you got 4 or 5 in the pipeline all at once, like, you suffer.
You do. And so
do the clients.
Exactly. And so it's hard to recognize those things that you need to make changes to. And when you do, I feel like now I'm a better person, right? Like I feel like I recognize my weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses is like perfection, thinking that I can do everything myself. And that's not true. I'm open to having feedback now. Like if it's helpful to my client experience, I want to know. And having a processor is literally the greatest thing that I've ever done. And I think that made my business so much more successful.
Awesome. Yeah, I think your clients are happier with it too.
Yes. I'm happier because I don't need to be collecting documents and following up on things that are small tasks. Like I need to be focused on the big tasks.
And so let's talk about that. So what did bringing that processor into your process really allow you to do? Like, it's not like you're working any less, right? So you're working on other things. What are those other things that really take that priority that you now spend your time doing instead of chasing people for those documents?
I'm able to build better relationships with my clients up front. So I focus on the actual start of the process. So like whenever you're getting pre-approved, that is fully something that I own, that I love doing. I want you to know who you're working with. And then whenever you're done working with me on that part, you feel comfortable with who I'm recommending you to work with for the rest of it, right? But I'm still a part of the whole process. If there's problems that come up, which obviously there's always problems
in a mortgage.
Every time, in any business, there's a problem. So being the person who's the problem solver and the one who reaches out when we make a mistake, I think is very important to take accountability for that.
That's good. I never thought about that.
Yeah. And then reaching out for like big deals. So like a lot of times in underwriting, there's problems. Underwriters don't look at things the way that a salesperson looks at them. I just talked to an account executive about this. He's like, I fight with underwriters all day. I was like, yeah, because underwriters are by the book. They're looking at, these are my guidelines. This is what I have to do. And we're the salespeople. And we're like, nah, you can do this. If you just like take a little peek around what you're supposed to do here, you can see that you could actually do this. And so like fighting for my clients and going to battle with them, like finding a lender that fits for what they need if they can't go through one. I hate to see a deal die. So I will go and find every single lender I can. And I can spend my time doing that now because I'm not worried about, hey, this one's in process. I got to collect their pay stub.
And that's actually been the case in a few of your most recent deals, right? Where you've pivoted lenders because something happens in the process where all of a sudden the lender doesn't want to move forward with it, right?
Yeah. And I think that is a huge selling point of working with a mortgage broker. Like we say brokers are better, and it is true. Like I care about every single deal I have. So if there's a problem with it, I'm going to figure out how to make it work. Like that is my goal. And that is, I always say like, oh, I hate dealing with problems. I deal with our problems all day, right? But then what greater feeling is it whenever you find a solution to that problem?
Oh yeah.
Like, wow, I'm the most badass person on the earth. Like this deal would have died anywhere else and I just closed it. Like you are welcome that I was able to do that for you.
Oh, I see that humility. You're not an alpha lady? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So the most recent thing I would say that's changed is you became a mom.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have a beautiful daughter together.
Congrats to you too.
Thank you. Talk to us about, you're continuing to work, from my point of view, probably more than you ever did before.
Mm-hmm.
What caused that change? How's the process changed? What are you doing differently? Like, give us some insight on that.
I see every opportunity I have is like such a great blessing to be able to work and to care for Reagan. That was like my ultimate goal whenever I became self-employed, was I wanted to have flexibility. I was always so jealous of you. Like you would say when we were going on vacation or something, oh, let me check with my boss and see if I'm allowed to go. And it used to make me so angry because I truly did have to like, okay, Mark, let me know. I just scheduled 6 months out so I could ask my boss and I could do this. And to be able to have the flexibility and have a baby is such a blessing. Like, how cool is that I get to work like from a playpen all day because I'm doing all my things that I need to do. And I know accountability wise, I can do that, but I also get to be with my baby.
Yeah.
Like that's so important to me.
100%. And I'm happy to see that you've been able to do that, because I know before it was just you wanted to be 100% mommy, but you struggled with losing your identity to just being a mom, right? That's something I talked about on episode 3 with Sophie, was like still maintaining an identity despite being a mother. And far too many mothers talk about how they've lost their identity, right? And so has that been important to you to maintain that identity as a mortgage professional despite being Reagan's mom?
Yeah, I think that at first it was really hard to figure out like, how can I do both? And I saw that again as like a weakness, right? Like when I'm on a call, I'm wearing Reagan because she won't take a nap. So I have her in my little pouch and you can see her on Zoom. I'm like, oh, that looks so unprofessional. But I think like the idea of professionalism is so different based on whatever you're doing, right? And so like my idea of professionalism is that I'm able to literally put my kid in this little carrier and I'm going to dedicate my time talking to you and like make that my priority. I think now I see it as if I'm putting my time into something and it's taking away from me being with her, like not me fully dedicating my time to her, I'm going to put in 100% because I'm not going to do like a 50% effort and be like, oh, we'll see how it goes. Like, no, I'm going to be 100% whatever I'm doing if it's not fully on her. Like my intention's not on her.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, focused, like efficient, right?
Yeah.
Like
and if I'm going to do it, I really care about it, right? Like I really care about doing mortgages for people that I work with. Like I really care about them being able to buy their house and grow their family in it or whatever their goal is. So if I'm going to dedicate my time to that, I'm going to be all in. I'm going to be efficient. It's going to be the best experience I can give that person, because at the end of the day, like I don't want to be doing this half-ass. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
I'd say whatever,
but like half-assing it if it's not going to benefit everyone, right? Like that's really important to me for everything to be so efficient in what I do now.
And is any of what you're doing for Reagan, like in a literal sense, in a financial sense?
Yeah, I need them dollars to make some. I got to buy clothes.
Yeah.
Kate and Lane, they love me.
But I mean,
but yes, I think it's important.
Say like working with a baby is good for their vocabulary and everything, right? Like that. Like, are there some of those reasons why, you continue to push forward no matter how difficult it is? Because let's be honest, sometimes she doesn't sleep at night. And you got early morning, networking meeting that you have to attend to, and we're not in the headspace to do it, but we're doing it, right? And like you said, when you do it, you still give 110%. So is that, what are you showing Reagan in doing that? Like, is that something that's important to you? Is that a reason why you continue to do it? Or is that just kind of like a result of, hey, well, I decided to do this, I'm going to get it done, so she's going to see that?
I think it's important to have something that I enjoy doing. I thrive in having like satisfaction from completing something. And I think that's important for her to see as like a child, that I have something that I'm really passionate about outside of just being her mom. Because I think that's really a good lesson for any kid, right? So I think that's ultimately my reason behind doing those things, is to maintain my identity and also to work really hard and show her that it's possible to do that if she wanted to do that one day, I think the entrepreneurial spirit of our house is very important to me. I didn't grow up around entrepreneurs. Everyone I knew who was successful worked for a big company. And so that's really important to me, for her to grow up around people who have a lot of, not flexibility in their schedule, but people who are just able to be creative in what they do. And like they see everything as an opportunity. And that's what I think an entrepreneur, a good one, is going to do, is going to have a very open mind to things and always want to be improving. And so I like the things that it instills in you.
So let's dive deep into that, right? Because obviously 2 entrepreneurs in a house with creativity and flexibility sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's
right?
not really that cool all the time.
But what are the consequences of that? Can you...
That you're always working, that we go on hikes and you're answering phone calls and then I'm sending emails. Like that is a reality, right? There's this trend on social media right now. It's like being a business owner has you looking like you're talking to a toxic ex or something, like that you're in a toxic relationship because you're just in random places, just texting, emailing, taking phone calls, right? Like you're at a club. There's one of those guys in a club in Mexico and he's literally like on the phone. It's like my husband looks like he's talking to his pissed off wife, but he's literally just taking a business phone call. And that's what our house looks like all the time. We're always working. Like, and I think that it's a balance, right? Like if it's something we're doing that's very important, we both are very good at prioritizing, like, hey, I'm not going to do that right now. But on a daily basis, yeah, it's kind of like chaos. Like I'm making dinner and you're like, hey, can you take Reagan? Because I got to make this phone call. And then we're eating like, hey, you take her because I got to go do this. Like there's a lot of give in that. And I think a lot of people see it as like, wow, it's so cool that you're home all day with your baby. Like I see you giving her food and feeding her lunch and taking her on walks. Like, yeah, but I strategically planned my day. And I know that I had a 30-minute window where I did not have a phone call. I didn't need to do anything. So I'm going to take the opportunity and go do that.
Time with the kid.
So it's not that like I have this leisure time of doing whatever I want or like, oh, it must be nice to like have time to make your baby's food for her. I don't have time to do that. But that is something that is a priority to me. So I will make the time to do it.
Right.
And I think the people see, oh, well, during 8 to 5, you're doing these things. Okay, but at 7 o'clock at night, I'm always on the phone talking to people.
Right. And I mean, not to say that until 2022, when you were truly off on your own, you didn't fully understand it when I was doing it, right? But I really do think that it has allowed you to understand.
It's really hard to understand.
Yeah. And most people like legitimately can't comprehend that, I've talked to.
It's not fun and it's not super easy all the time. Like running a company is not funsies.
I say my hours of operation are from when my eyes open to when my eyes shut, right?
You also never have a guaranteed paycheck. And I think that is the biggest thing that people see and they say like, oh, it must be nice. But it's not nice whenever you're having a really hard month and you don't know how much money you're going to make.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of like starting a business is you have no idea how long it's going to take you to ramp up. You have no idea when things are going to become consistent. And so, yeah, it's great. But you do have to have, it definitely comes at a cost.
And we've talked all the time. It was like, hey, if I need to go make a lot more money, I know how to do it, right? And I can go do it, but it comes at its own cost, right?
And we both say that our biggest value is time. And I think that you truly understand that whenever you are self-employed and everything you do that you're putting your time into equates to money that you're making or that you're taking away time from your family.
Yeah.
And you really start to think of things in such a bucket of like, am I doing this thing because it is benefiting me? And if it's not, then I'm probably not going to do it anymore.
Right.
And so that's a very important thing that you really value all of your time very, very differently.
100%. Yeah. I got to say I'm more intentional with my time now since we've had the baby and definitely value my own time a lot more. Before it was like I had a monetary value on my time, but now like it's not even so much the monetary value of it. It's just that I have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. And so is this, like you said, is this something that is advancing the business forward? Is it advancing a particular deal or a case forward?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I just doing this, because it needs to get done? And then that's when you start looking at it and say, okay, what are the tasks that are not really beneficial and can somebody else do them? And what is it going to cost me to hire somebody or to pay somebody to do those tasks, right? Again, taking a pay cut in order to do so and grow the company, but for a little bit more balance.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that cleaning lady says, like you go through your stuff and it's like, does this bring me joy? No, throw it away. But instead of like joy, it's like, does this bring me money, more time, things that are going to advance my career, any of these like positive things? And if it doesn't, like, bye.
We clearly
got to get someone else to do it.
Very different targeted content.
We do.
Yes. Despite.
You don't know anything I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen the trend of, I should see that one. Like that one should be in my algorithm.
That's good.
It's not. And the cleaning lady thing, not in my algorithm.
Okay, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, okay, good.
You're welcome.
Watches, cars, trucks.
No.
That's my algorithm.
Not into those.
Yeah, okay. So we're running short on time here. One of the things that I'm asking on my guests, and I think I have an idea because when these things come up, you just roll over and talk to me about it. But what are the 3 things that as an entrepreneur and a business owner and CEO of Alpha Lenders keep you up at night?
Ooh, that's fun. A lot of things.
Top 3.
One.
And it could be personally, professionally.
Yeah. Okay, well, obviously one is like, am I doing enough for our child? I'm so obsessed with like teaching her how to do things in her.
I mean, she's crawling before 6 months. Shout out baby Ray.
Plus me, I'm the best.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I, want to make sure I'm looking at everything she's doing and figuring out how I can help her to optimize everything she does, but not in like a crazy way. I also feel like that's very important to note that I try not to do too much research.
She's not a business case for you?
No, but like a little bit,
Okay.
Like a little bit. 2, are my clients happy? Am I doing the absolute most that I can for everything? I probably wake up once a week and think of an idea of how I could have done something for a loan that maybe I didn't think of. And I wake up and I say, remind me tomorrow at 9 a.m. to write to this lender. Remind me to do this tomorrow. And that's like, yeah, I do that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. 3, am I going to be able to scale my business? Do I want to scale my business? Do I want to hire more people? What does that look like for the future? Is that going to be a good idea for me? Should I change the name of my company? Like, future of what I'm doing.
The growth of Alpha Lenders moving forward.
Yes.
The future of Alpha Lenders.
And I always said like I didn't want to do that at all. And I was severely uninterested. And now I'm like, well, that might be kind of cool. But that changes your role of what you're doing completely. So
why has that changed? What has evolved there? Why do you see that to be more of maybe something you would be open to considering? Like, what caused that change? Was it?
Because I think being a mom, like we talked about, an idea that you had for my business, and I do think it's really good. I think.
Should we let it out here? Should we like announce it on the pod?
I'm not saying I'm actually gonna do it.
I'm just saying, but like, should we?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity for women to be in the mortgage industry, right? Like, there's a whole women's network that's a part of a group that I'm in, and I think it's really cool, right? In a typical male-dominated industry, now we're saying, hey, there's a bunch of women that are getting into this, and we're good at it. Because like that's your skill set, is listening to people and understanding how you can help them. And women are really good at that.
Organization.
Yes.
Coaching.
We have a lot of really good skills, and becoming a mother just shows you how much better we are than men, honestly. And so
you're not an alpha lady. Okay. I just want to keep reminding you that you say you're not alpha.
No, but I do think women are a lot better than men in a lot of aspects for things like this, right? And so I think it would be really cool to have a bunch of moms who otherwise aren't making money, right? Because they're like, hey, I don't want to have a career because I want to have flexibility. I want to be able to do things with my kids, whatever it is. And so I do think it would be cool to have a team of women who are mortgage professionals, and they literally just write loans for people they know, for someone that they met, and they're like, oh, I really want to buy a house. Like, there's a passion behind it, helping people. And I think a lot of other women have that passion, but they don't really want to go out on their own, figure out what they want to do. Yeah, exactly. So, or
go through everything that you had to go through to get the business to where it is, right?
Yeah.
Like that, like you said, I don't want to take any credit for it. I think everything that you've done, you've earned on your own, 100%. I truly and honestly mean that. I've been a sounding board, right? And some people don't have that opportunity.
Yeah, it's very hard not to have someone who supports everything you're going to do and understands whatever it's going to take to put into that. I think that that's a real strength that we have as a couple, is that we're both like very supportive of each other. And so for someone else, they might not have like that sounding board, like you said, to push them to do something. So yeah, it's like not a huge commitment to go get your mortgage license and maybe write a few loans for your friends or for your neighbors. So I do think that that is a cool idea that I'm interested in exploring.
Maybe coming soon.
Maybe.
Should we drop the name?
No.
Okay. If you want to know the name that we have floating around,
you can ask me.
You can DM Aly and she could tell you more of the story.
Yeah.
You could DM me maybe, and I'll give you Aly's DM to DM her.
Aren't you like the receptionist? Isn't that your job?
I'm the receptionist at all jobs at Alpha Lenders. I'm the receptionist.
Alpha Assurance.
Alpha Assurance. I'm the receptionist. Mm-hmm. So if you ever want to talk to anybody at Alpha companies, I'm your first point of contact as a receptionist. Yeah. Well, truly a pleasure. Honest.
All pleasure is all mine.
Oh, thank you for inviting me into your home.
You're welcome.
For this podcast.
You're very welcome.
Is there anything that you want to talk to the audience about that maybe we didn't cover? Is there anybody you want to recognize? Anybody you're looking to be connected with? the floor is yours to
Ugh.
ask.
That's a lot of open space. I think that what I just would like to say is that I think that anyone has the opportunity to be a homeowner. And so if you have like any inkling that you don't want to keep paying rent, even if it's in 5 years, like owning a home is special, right? Not everyone wants to be a homeowner. There's a lot of tasks that come with it. There's a lot of repairs that have to be done. But if you want things your way and you think that that is going to be something that fulfills you, like I would love to just talk to anyone who has even any interest and show them what they can do. If you want to buy investment properties and build a portfolio, like that's something I love doing. There's a great method to doing that with a loan that doesn't use your personal income to qualify. Like there are so many products out there that are available to people that they just don't know. And I think that you have to just reach out to experts and kind of get an idea. And so it's really important just to have that conversation. So
Awesome.
anyone who wants to be a homeowner can be a homeowner. It just takes work.
And I'm going to put you on the spot here. This is not something we discussed, but if anybody reaches out and mentions the podcast Founders Untold, is there anything special that you could do for them in the mortgage process?
Ooh, not really.
Nothing? Throw them a deal.
I don't really have deals because I'm a mortgage broker, so I have a highly regulated business.
I know, but like, can't we do something for our friends and our viewers here?
Sure. I could give them like a high five.
Okay. So you heard it here first. Contact Alpha Lenders, mention Founders Untold, and she will have to come meet you somewhere.
Oh yeah, give you in person, give you a
high five. Great offer here.
No one ever wants to meet me in person. They just want to talk to me on the phone, preferably text message. So you get the joy of seeing me.
But I encourage you guys to first like and subscribe. Founders Untold. Alpha Lenders, Aly Jelincic. She's private, so she may or may not accept you. But please connect if you're interested in purchasing either a home for yourself, somebody in your family, or even your first investment, whether it be commercial or residential. Aly is a great asset. Even if you just want to learn more, right? And start that process, that coaching process to a long-term purchase. She could point you in the right direction, definitely help you get everything in line to make you the most qualified buyer you can be. And it was an honest pleasure. Thank you for being my guest this week.
You're welcome.
Aly Jelincic, Alpha Lenders, and this is episode 6 of Founders Untold.